Belief system and gratitude. Welcome to episode 5 of this series of discussions on our belief systems. This this isn't necessarily about religion or non-religion. This is something that is within every person. It has to do with what you think is right, what you think is wrong, how you think others or yourself should run your life. It is the conviction of truth of some statement or reality until there's another thing that questions that belief system. We hang on to these. Now, sometimes we hang on to these because they're a dominant figure's belief that we either live with or that we want to impress, or so in other words, it really isn't our belief system, but we go along to get along type of thing. And we should question that because it may be affecting our health. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath. I love sharing natural remedies with people. Natural remedies have been around for thousands of years, like plants and different ways of doing things to be healthy, to create better relationships. There's a lot to be thought about when we want to heal our bodies or maintain health. What we put out in the universe comes back to us. It's sort of like a boomerang. I never win anything. And of course, you don't win anything because that's what you're putting out into the universe. On the flip side, when we express appreciation and positivity, even those things come back to us. Now, they may not come back to us in the picture that we contrive, but it comes back to us in something that's important for us. And oftentimes we look at as, no, thank you. So I'm sure you've read stories about horrific things that have happened to people. And what they learned out of that circumstance was so valuable that in hindsight, it was worth going through the experience, even though at the time it was the worst, most tragic thing imaginable. Living life gratefully allows our body to vibrate at a frequency that is conducive to healing. And we're going to go into that a little bit more in these slides. Have you ever heard the phrase, thoughts are things? This is because our thoughts create emotions that literally vibrate at a particular frequency. Emotions are literally energy in motion. Therefore, your emotions vibrate and put out a frequency just like everything else in the world. One of the books I found absolutely fascinating was Masaru Emoto's book on the hidden messages in water. Now, he had this particular type of camera microscope that he could examine crystals. And it's such an amazing book. I urge you to either get it from the library, a lot of libraries carry it, or you can get it from Amazon. It really isn't that expensive. But Dr. Masaru Emoto discovered that crystals formed in frozen water reveal changes when specific concentrated thoughts are directed toward them. So let me back that up a little bit. They took water from this beautiful crystal pure stream and they froze those. And when they examined these crystals, like snowflakes, every one of them was perfect, beautiful. They weren't all the same. They were all quite different, but each in their own right was beautiful. Then they had an array of people taking little glass vials of this same water and thinking of different thoughts. Some people thought of hope. Some people thought of courage. Some people thought of love. And then they wrote those, whatever they were thinking, thoughts on the jar and they froze it. And they took all those jars and they examined them. And in this book, he shows you pictures of what those thoughts and words did to the water. Do you know that our bodies are made up of 60% water? Yeah. So if we are constantly hating ourselves, talking bad stuff, thinking negative thoughts, angry, fear thoughts, we are changing the water in us from maybe this crystalline, beautiful water to something distorted and absolutely ugly. There is actually scientific evidence of how our emotions create the vibrations that we live by. So if you live by peace and joy and love, you vibrate between 600 and 500 megahertz. And if you vibrate down here by anger and pride and desire and fear and grief, guilt, shame, look at how low your vibrations are. Now, when these vibrate at certain levels, you can either be expansive and open to good energy, or you can be constricted and not open to good energy. And so when you say to yourself, I never win anything, you are so constrictive in your energy. And that's just a playful way of putting it. What you want to do is be open to health, be open to love, be open to joy and beauty and reason and acceptance. All of these are a wonderful vibratory rate to live by. Now, flower essences, which are vibrational medicine, can do the same thing. They can raise our vibrational rate to support health. Now, there are actually cameras that can detect your emotional openness, and they're called auric field cameras. And I've left a link in the description below for you to examine that, because maybe that's something of interest and you'd like to do a little more research. In my time in the 70s, they called it Kirlian photographer, but they've created more digital type cameras that can capture the auric field. And when you take flower essences that help you to be courageous and accepting and reasonable, they help you move through trauma. This is a flower essence remedy. If you've watched any of my other videos, I probably have mentioned this because I absolutely love this particular flower essence remedy. It's a gentle remedy that can be taken by children, elderly, even people on medication, as well as pets. I have seen many incidences where this remedy has helped pets that have gone through surgical trauma. They maybe go through trauma because of fireworks, a myriad of things. Maybe they've been scared. They almost got hit by a truck, or, dogs have energy, cats have energy, and they too can take this energy medicine and raise above that into a higher level of energy. So there's a link in the description below for you to get a 25% discount off of any supplements that you choose that are on that link. And there's over 700 of them. But I love flower essence remedies. They assist in clearing mental attitude, your emotional, what trauma you're going through, or even spiritual imbalances. If you're wrestling with an idea and don't know which way you should go with this idea, it will help you. It'll help clear your mind. It is an amazing thing because these particular Nature Sunshine flower essences do not contain alcohol. A lot of the other ones do. And if you are concerned about alcohol, especially with children, you don't want to give them alcohol. This is a glycerin base, and even people who struggle with diabetes can take this without a problem. If you find it too sweet, you can drop it in an ounce of water, swish it around, and take it that way. Basically, you take a dropper full, put it under your tongue, breathe, wait a minute, and then you just have this feeling of calmness and understanding. It's just an amazing thing. And I've given it, pets do not have a preconceived idea of what's going to happen, right? And I have seen so many pets being helped by this vibrational medicine. I understand it is important to grieve. It is important to process disappointment, fear, anger, all of these emotions that disrupt our health. And they do. We know that now by the graph that I showed you on. Obviously, the higher level of energy is more healing, and the lower energy keeps you in that realm of illness. So being aware of that is, I think, so important. So when you are dealing with something that is affecting the nervous system, the immune system, and even the way our hormones work, isn't it important to be at this highest level of health that you can be so that your body has the equipment to deal with these illnesses? That sometimes it is difficult to clear your mind and let go. I think it's a help to have something like this in your medicine chest and take it. Basically, you only have to take it 3 times a day. A dropper full, which ends up being half a dropper, is all you take under the tongue, just like a homeopathic, and then you just let it mix with your saliva and swallow. It is amazing how most people can feel the energy move through them and a feeling of calmness settle over them. So even, if you're sick and you have a fever and all, this can be taken along with the nutrition that will help your body improve the cellular health. So there are a lot of flower essences out there. You can get individual ones to deal with individual situations, and that may be where you want to go. But in general, somebody, it's like taking an aspirin. And when you have a headache, when you have a foot pain, whatever, this is the aspirin for emotions. So, how do you express gratitude? One of the keys I've helped people with, I've been dealing with emotional healing for over 40 years now. And the biggest thing I can say that has helped people is gratitude. And what I tell them to do is get it can be a dollar store booklet. Well, every night you want to write in that 5 things you're grateful for. And they can be the fact that you can breathe fresh air, that you can see a beautiful scene, that you can smell the wonderful flowers, that you have food to eat, that you have enough water to drink, that you have a home you can go to, or a place that you feel safe. So many things. It isn't until we lose one of those things that we understand how important it was for us. If you have a freak accident and you lose your sight, or if you lose your hearing, or, be appreciative of these things so that maybe you're not given it. You got to be more grateful. Then the next night, 5 things more. You can't repeat, I'm grateful for the home I live in, I can breathe air. No, 5 different things that you're grateful for. And they can be people, they can be pets, and you know what you'll find yourself doing is that during the day, you'll be thinking, oh my goodness, I got to think of 5 things tonight to write in my journal. Oh, look at that beautiful tree. You will start looking for these things to be grateful for. And pretty soon, your life is a life of gratitude, and that you're living in joy, even though you're living through trauma, grief, whatever it is that you're living through. There are always things that you can be grateful for. So I hope that this has been beneficial, that some part of this resonated with you and gave you an aha moment, that maybe you were thinking of somebody that you can share this with. If you've enjoyed this message, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment. Tell me how it's been beneficial for you. Share it with others. I appreciate you so much. And I thank you for being part of my group of listeners. I want to thank you again for watching this video. And again, I hope that it's been beneficial for you in some way. Maybe there are other people that need to hear this message as well. So if been part of my system, or this is the first time that you've heard this, go back and look at the other episodes that are available to you. I have close to 300 videos, and I'm hoping that something in those will give you some support. So this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It. Until next time.